The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 38, 3 Signs That Entitlement is Keeping You Fat. Hello and welcome. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, certified master NLP practitioner, certified professional coach, certified master professional coach, and founder of the Inner Self Diet. And this is the JoLynn Braley Show. Join me on today's show as I go beyond the food to what the real issue is. What is the real issue? The real issue is your mindset. Yes, mindset is 90% of the game. If you ever want to achieve struggle-free, permanent success with your weight, if you want to get off the yo-yo dieting hamster wheel, if you want to end your emotional eating, your binge eating, your late night stuffing, your shame, your embarrassment, your guilt, if you want to actually have a healthy relationship with food, a healthy relationship with your body, a healthy relationship with yourself, which, by the way, will transform all of your relationships in your life. And, of course, you'll get struggle-free, permanent weight loss also. But in order to get the result of struggle-free, permanent weight loss, you must get a weight loss mindset. You already know that the food diets have not done this for you. How many food diets have you done? I am the founder of the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet has nothing to do with how to eat or how to exercise. The exceptional women and a few cool men who I work with, they already know how to eat healthy. They already know how to exercise. They already know that it has to be a healthy lifestyle. It can't be a short-term, fast fat loss, quickie fat loss diet. And they also were never able to achieve the results of living a healthy lifestyle without struggle on their own. They did get those results after I coached them and mentored them through my proprietary, proven, step-by-step system, the Inner Self Diet. After they became a match on the inside to the body that they wanted on the outside, then it was very easy for them to do the 10%. What is the 10%? The 10% is how you eat and exercise. That's only 10% of the solution. I know that this is a mind-blowing paradigm shift for you when you have been dieting your entire life, trying to get those 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, or 100 pounds off of your body and keep them off. I mean, really, who wants to lose 50 pounds and then gain it back and then lose it again and gain it back and lose it again and gain it back and lose it again? Who wants that? Wouldn't you rather heal the root of why you became overweight in the first place? There's a reason why you started overeating, you started binge eating, you started stuffing yourself, you started feeling guilty about food, you started obsessing about food, you started obsessing about your weight and the number on the scale, you started perfectionism thinking, telling yourself that you weren't good unless you were quote-unquote good with how you ate, and if you didn't eat the way you thought you should, then you were quote-unquote bad. That drives me crazy. When I used to work in corporate many years ago, and in fact, I used to work in computer programming. Today, what I do is I help my clients reprogram their inner self, which is really exciting to me because I'm still programming. but I'm doing it in an entirely different way, and in a way that helps these awesome people that I work with have an entirely different mindset and life. And what I was about to share with you there is when I worked in corporate in the past, there were women that I worked with who would talk constantly about, oh, I was good today, or I was good yesterday, I stuck to my diet, and then they'd come in the next day and say, oh, I was bad because I ate a piece of cake last night. That always has driven me crazy, because to place your self-worth and your identity on food and on the number on the scale and on how you eat, that is one symptom of an FAT mindset. And why it drives me crazy is because you deserve so much better. Those women I worked with deserved so much better. You have no idea right now what it is that you don't know, because you're so stuck in the diet mentality and in the FAT mindset. You really have thought, and you really have believed, and you really have bought the idea that the mainstream diet industry has sold you, that all you need to do is eat a different way and exercise in a huge way and you'll lose weight. Well, yeah, you can lose weight forcing yourself to diet. You can lose weight forcing yourself to exercise. But why is it that you've never been able to maintain that? Why is it that you've never been able to continue that healthy way of living? Why is it that there's always that quote-unquote something that happened, and then you go right back to all your old ways? Why is that? Well, you cannot force yourself to become something on the outside that you are not already a match to on the inside. This is universal law. What are universal laws? Universal laws are laws of this universe. Sort of like gravity, but not. Gravity is a physical law. And actually, universal laws influence the physical also. But see, the thing is that everything is energy. And one of the universal laws that we live under is the inner and the outer always match. So what you have been attempting to do is you have been attempting to become this thin, slender, fit, strong woman or man on the outside. But on the inside, you're fat. You have an FAT mindset. An FAT mindset is a mindset grounded in fear-attracting thoughts. You force yourself to diet because you're afraid that other people won't like you, or you're afraid that food is going to make you fat, or that if you don't diet that you'll never lose weight. And understand, I'm not saying that I teach my clients to sit on the couch and eat brownies all day and they lose weight without struggle. That is not what I do. And I'm sure with your common sense, that doesn't make any sense anyway. What my clients get to the place of is they release all of their unhealthy behaviors that were making them overweight and keeping the fat on their body and adding fat to their body in the first place. For example, Holly, who is a graduate of the Inner Self Diet, she wrote in her testimonial, she wrote, "Thank you, JoLynn, for relieving me of my suffering of binging. I did not think it was possible." To anyone out there who is binging and can't stop, JoLynn's step-by-step system is the real thing. She says, do it now. Those are her words. She was stuck in binge eating for 30 years. And it's not hard to understand and realize that 30 years can go by in the blink of an eye, because you have been struggling with this problem since you were a child. How do you know? Well, take a piece of paper right now, write down your current age. Do this pen on paper. Pause this podcast if you don't have pen and paper ready. Now that you've written down your current age, just travel back in time in your mind. It's very easy to do. Go back through your memories. Go back to the first memories that you can find of being a small child, and then come back up to your first memories that you can find of any struggle, any negativity with the area of food, your body, your weight, your body image, anything in that area. And notice how old you were then. It's very possible that you were not overweight, but somebody told you that you were, or they told you that you needed to watch what you were eating, otherwise you were going to get a big butt. It could be that you were overweight and an adult put you on a diet. Whatever it was, it's easy for you to identify your age. Now write that age that you were as a child when you first started struggling with this area of your life. Put that on your paper underneath your current age and subtract the 2. And circle that number. That is how old this problem is that you're still living with today. That is how old your struggle with food and weight is. Doesn't it make sense now why you have never solved this on your own and why those food diets have never solved it for you? It's too big. It's too gnarly. Why is it that all those self-help books that you've bought never healed the root of this ongoing problem? And notice also that you don't need to make the diets be bad, all of those food diets you've done. They're only 10% of the solution. And yes, healthy eating and exercise is part of getting the body of your dreams, but 90% of it is your mindset. It doesn't matter how many healthy eating plans and exercise programs you go on, as long as you do not heal the root, you don't replace your FAT mindset with a weight loss mindset, as long as you avoid that and you keep forcing yourself to do food diets, you'll never be able to maintain the weight that you lose. It just doesn't work. And it just can't work. It defies universal law. Universal laws are bigger than me. They're bigger than you. They're bigger than all of us. You don't even have to believe what I'm saying. It doesn't change anything. You can get off this podcast right now and not believe any word that I'm saying, and it's still a fact. You cannot force yourself to become a fit and slender person on the outside when on the inside you're fat. 90% of your problem is your inner self. That's where it's all at. This is not something that's a secret. All high achievers know this. Albert Einstein knew this. Dr. Wayne Dyer knows this. Zig Ziglar knew this. Tony Robbins knows this. Oprah Winfrey knows this. Why is it that all high achievers know this? What is the big secret? The big secret is simply that it's very, very, very easy to do whatever it is that you want to do on the outside, whether that's building a massive business like Oprah has done, or whether that's getting the body of your dreams like my clients have done and like you'd like to do. It doesn't matter what it is you want to do on the outside, as long as if you want it to be easy and if you want it to last, then you've got to do the inner self part first. And I know that defies everything that you want, because all you want is fast fat loss. You're looking for the quickest way to lose weight in the least amount of time possible. How many years have you been doing that exactly? How many New Year's resolutions have you made? Exactly how many times in a year do you tell yourself that you'll start again on Monday? What are the results, the specific results that you are getting from doing the food diets, from avoiding the real problem? And do you like those results? All right, so today's episode is 3 signs that entitlement is keeping you fat. First of all, what is entitlement? Entitlement is the thought or the belief that you should be able to get what you want without doing anything, without making any changes, without paying any money, without spending any of your time. Entitlement is the belief or the thought. A belief is just a thought that you've been thinking over and over and over again, that you deserve to get what you want with nothing in return. This is a big problem today. It's a big problem in America especially. And part of it is because of the internet, because there's so much free information available. Part of it is because of the ability to see so many images and stories and results through movies or the internet or YouTube, wherever. Obviously YouTube's on the internet. But you look at the lifestyles and the results of celebrities and successful people, and you want what they have, but when you're not willing to do what they have done to get to where they are, you are suffering under the heavy weight of entitlement. So what are 3 signs that entitlement is keeping you fat? Number 1, you expect everything to be free. You expect professional coaching services to be free. You expect a professional coach who has the proven system that will solve all of your food and weight problems, that will end your emotional eating, end your yo-yo dieting, end your struggles. Whatever your unhealthy behaviors are, the Inner Self Diet will take care of it. A sign that entitlement is keeping you fat is you expect that service to be free, or the service of another professional. You expect services and goods to be free. You expect nutrition information to be free. You expect people to do for you when you're not willing to do for yourself. You're not willing to pay any money to solve your problems. You tell yourself that you should be able to find the answers for free and just do it yourself. And you're also not willing to invest time in fixing what ails you. You expect a magic pill to solve all of your overeating and overweight problems, and you expect that magic pill to be free, or to be 75% off, or to be able to buy it through some kind of a loophole. This is a very, very, very important topic to look at closely about yourself. On every episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I give you questions to ask yourself. Questioning yourself is extremely powerful depending on the questions you ask. If you ask yourself, why is it I always screw up? That's not such a powerful question, because you'll get an answer to that, but is that answer going to help you? If instead you ask yourself specific, pointed questions so that you can really get clear, get real with yourself, then that will help you to understand where you are. And you can't get to where you want to go if you first aren't clear about where you are. I'm not suggesting that once you get clear about the mess you're in, that you obsess about the mess, but you just want to have the awareness and be clear about where you're starting, so that then you can move to where you want to go. If instead you stay in denial and you cover up where you're at, that's the same thing that you're already doing with the fat on your body. You're covering up where you're at, and you're avoiding the real problem while you sit and overeat and tell yourself that someday you'll change. When exactly is that someday going to come? How long have you been doing that? So I'm going to give you your questions right now at this point in the podcast. You can write these down. Please do write them down, pen on paper. If you only listen to this podcast, you might get a little bit out of it. You won't get anywhere near what you'll get out of this free podcast if you actually write the questions down on paper and then write down your answers. So what you want to look at is what are the specific results that you have been getting and the results you are getting from all of the free information that you have collected on the internet and that you continue to collect. How exactly has all of that free information helped you to solve your emotional eating, to end your binge eating, to end your yo-yo dieting, to end your self-sabotage? How has that worked for you? So your first question to write down and answer for yourself, exactly how much do I weigh today? Exactly how much do I weigh today? And write down that number. Next question, do I like my weight? Am I happy with it? If you are, then I don't know why you're listening to this podcast. Get out there and live your life. You do not need to listen to the JoLynn Braley Show if you are happy with your weight and if you have a healthy relationship with food and yourself. Next question, do I still emotionally eat? Do I still emotionally eat? Do I still use food for my emotions? Yes or no? Next question, and you can pause this podcast if you need to write down the questions and write down your answers. Do I still overeat? Yes or no? Do I still overeat? What you're looking for here are the specific results you're living, even though you have collected all of the free information and you continue to collect free information about how to lose weight. Next question, do I still eat foods that I know add fat to my body? Do I still eat foods and overeat foods that I know add fat to my body? Yes or no? And then another question, do I still obsess about food and my weight? Do I still obsess about food and my weight? Yes or no? These are the results that I invite you to look at for yourself. These are the results that you are getting from the free information that you continue to collect. And if you are expecting professionals to help you solve this ongoing, never-ending food and weight problem that you've got, then you absolutely know that you have a problem with entitlement, and the entitlement is keeping you fat. Number 2 sign that entitlement is keeping you fat, you expect new and different results from doing the same things that you're already doing. You expect new and different results from doing the same things you are already doing. So really what this comes down to is that you are not willing to change, but you still want the results of struggle-free permanent weight loss. And actually this fits in perfectly with Einstein's definition of insanity. Einstein's definition of insanity is continuing to do the same things over and over and over again while expecting a different result. So this is the number 2 sign that entitlement is keeping you fat. You want results, but you're not willing to do what it takes to get the results. Instead, you just keep doing the same things that you've already been doing that are giving you the results that you've got. Okay, number 3 sign that entitlement is keeping you fat. You blame those who will not give you free professional services or free fixes. You blame the professionals who will not give you free professional services or free products, free solutions. You blame these people or institutions, companies, as the reason that you're still overweight, overeating, and unhappy. You tell yourself that you should be able to get help, that your problems are so big and strong and they feel so bad, but because you are in such a pickle that others should be willing to just help you for free because you are in so much pain. What's going on here, besides this being a third sign that entitlement is keeping you fat, this is also a sign of a victim mentality. And when you live in the place of victim mentality, which is very, very, very common for folks who are struggling with overeating and overweight, it's very common to have the mentality of a victim, that it's everyone else's fault, or it's the food industry's fault, it's the fast food industry's fault, it's everyone else's fault that you're overweight, overeating, and unhappy. It's your parents' fault. But what this does when you live in that place, which clearly, in case this isn't clear, I'll explain it right now. This is also a symptom of an FAT mindset, a mindset grounded in fear-attracting thoughts. When you live in this place, what you're doing is you are ensuring that you will never achieve struggle-free permanent success with your weight. Because when you blame anyone else or you blame anything else, you're giving all of your power away. You can never achieve, you never will achieve struggle-free permanent success with your weight as long as you give your power away. The only way to lose weight without struggle, without deprivation, without forcing yourself, the only way to have permanent success with your weight, you have to learn how to step fully into the driver's seat of your own life. You've got to step fully into your personal power. Dave, one of my clients, he dropped 90 pounds without struggle. He did not give up his pretzels. He didn't deprive himself, but he dropped 90 pounds without struggle. And he said that no one would know that I'm dieting because I'm not. I've changed my mindset and thinking, and it's all become an exciting part of the journey. And he sent me an update in 2012 to say that I'm at 206 from the 296 we started at back when you coached me in 2010. So I worked with him he graduated the Inner Self Diet at the end of 2010, and the beginning of 2012 he sent me this update. He dropped 90 pounds. He said that's 90 pounds, and I've kept moving forward without struggle. That's what really matters. I've done this without forcing myself or depriving myself. I now jog usually 5 days a week. Keep changing people's lives. That's from Dave in Indianapolis. He stepped into his own power. There's no blame there. There's no entitlement. He learned how to take full control of his own mind and his own emotions. And he dropped 90 pounds without struggle. You've got to be willing to step up for yourself and take 100% badass full responsibility for yourself and for your results. This doesn't mean that you are a bad person if you are living under the belief of entitlement, if that's where you've been, or if you have an FAT mindset, if you're 100 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, or I've even had clients who were, you could say only, quote unquote, 10 pounds overweight, but they had just as much, if not more, struggle on the inside because of that extra fat than some people who are 200 pounds overweight and have just given up. They don't believe they can ever be helped. They don't believe they can ever lose weight. And they certainly don't believe that it could be easy to do. They have an FAT mindset. So something to look at for yourself is just ask yourself exactly how long am I willing to wait to be free from the struggles? And that's a good question to write down on your paper. Exactly how long am I willing to wait to be free from these struggles? And if your answer to that question is I'm not willing to hold myself in the struggle any longer, then you will need to get the help. You will need to actually invest in yourself, time, money, energy, to hire a certified professional master coach who can help you out of the pickle that you're in. Why would you want to do that? Well, exactly, again, how long have you been struggling with this food and weight problem? Why haven't you already figured it out on your own? How many self-help books have you bought? Exactly how many self-help books are on your library shelf at home? Many of which I bet you've never even read, because I've done that before. I told myself for 20 years that I could fix my mindset issues on my own. It's not enough to have the intellectual knowledge that you have a mindset problem. Clearly, you're a very smart person. Your intelligence has helped you gain great success in your career or your business. So this is not a problem of intelligence, is it? Because if that highly intelligent part of you could have solved this ongoing struggle that you've got with overeating and overweight, then why wouldn't you have already solved it many, many, many years ago? You're right, you would have already done it. So why is it that you're going to need to hire a certified professional master coach who has a proven system to help you? Why is it that you're going to need to do that to get out of this pickle? Number one, you don't know what you don't know. Number two, you clearly have never been able to achieve struggle-free permanent weight loss on your own. Number three, how many food diets have you done and where have they gotten you? Number four, how many self-help books have you bought and where have they gotten you? Number five, how many years have you been in therapy? I have had numerous clients who have been in therapy for 5, 9, or more years. And what I hear over and over again is that therapy never gave them the results of the inner self diet. You see, therapy is extremely different from coaching and mentoring, working with a certified professional master coach. Coaching is about getting results. Coaching is not about talking and analyzing and just, talking forever. That is not coaching. Coaching is the client and the coach working together, the coach mentoring the client through real-world action steps that they take so that they are the one in control of their mind and their emotions, and so that they get real life results to lose weight without struggle and keep it off. Therapy is about talking about things. It's not focused on results. This is why my clients get results in just a few short weeks as opposed to being in therapy for 5 or 9 or more years and never getting the results that they got with the inner self diet. Let's take a quick commercial break. Today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is FearlessFatLoss.com. FearlessFatLoss.com. Go to this specific page, FearlessFatLoss.com/call, CALL. On that page, you will find an application. This is your first step towards struggle-free permanent success with your weight. It's an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session, and it would be very mean of me, wouldn't it, if after all of this talking on this podcast, I didn't give you the way out, if I didn't give you the solution to end your emotional eating, your binge eating, your ongoing struggles with overeating and overweight. To put all of that in your past, your first step is to apply for a complimentary weight loss discovery session, and you can do that at fearlessfatloss.com/call. Shout outs. How do you get a shout out from me on the JoLynn Braley Show? Here's how. It's really, really simple. Go to theJoLynnBraleyShow.com and click like to to like our Facebook page, and you will get a shout out with your first name on an upcoming episode. If you are listening to the JoLynn Braley Show on iTunes, then you can see the picture of me and see how my name is spelled, so you know how to spell it. Just type that into your internet browser. Go to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com and click like on our Facebook page. You'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming episode. If you're not listening on iTunes, or for some reason you don't see that picture, then my name is spelled JoLynn, Braley, B as in boy, Raley. And put all those letters together, theJoLynnBraleyShow.com, and you will get a shout out from me on an upcoming episode. So let's look at what you learned today. You learned what entitlement is. You learned that if you're expecting free solutions to big problems like your never-ending food and weight struggles, then you learned that entitlement is keeping you fat. You learned exactly how long and how big and how old your ongoing food and weight struggles are. You learned that by doing that simple math equation on your paper. You learned that I have the proven solution to end all of your food and weight struggles, and that this is what I do with my clients in the Inner Self Diet. You learned that the quickest and easiest way, the fastest way to get out of where you are and get to the place where you're living struggle-free with food and your weight is to apply for a complimentary weight loss discovery session, and you can do that at fearlessfatloss.com/call. You learned today that expecting different results from doing the same things you're already doing is Einstein's definition of insanity, and that is not the path to permanent weight loss. You also learned that blaming others will not get you to where you want to go, because all you do is you give your power away when you do that. You also learned that the good news is that you don't have to keep allowing entitlement to hold you fat, that you really can step up and learn how to take full control of your own mind and your own emotions. And taking 100% badass personal responsibility for all of your results, even if your results are not that fun, that's a much better place to be in than the place of entitlement or blame or victim mentality, because when you're in those places you have zero power, and then you just flop around and it just gets worse. It's not good. It's not helpful for you. Okay, so be sure and go over to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com, click like on our Facebook page, and you'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming show. If you're subscribed in iTunes, go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating and a 5-star review. In your review, go ahead and tell us what your biggest aha is from the show. Tell us about your big paradigm shift in your mind that has helped you understand that those food diets are only 10% of the solution, and 90% of struggle-free permanent weight loss is your mindset. Next week's episode is weight loss motivation. Why doesn't it ever last? This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, master certified professional coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, and you have been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show. Head on over to fearlessfatloss.com/call to apply for a complimentary weight loss discovery session, and that is your first step towards struggle-free permanent success with your weight. Here's to your best life in your ideal body.